So yeah, it's always sunny. This is called the bowling episode, and I think one of the funniest things that we saw on the trailer and promotional materials is Dennis punching something and then breaking his hand and screaming. So this is that particular episode. We get Dee going for a bowling game, and then the gang is like, this is the opening. The gang goes like, where are you going? So she's like, she's going bowling. And Dennis and Mark and Frank, they're like, we don't go bowling. And then the title appears, the gang goes bowling. This is the most misogynistic episode so far of the season, because we get that women can't do this because of this. Then we have the women outsmarting the guys. So in this particular episode, the ladies are back. So we have Artemis, we have Snail, we have the waitress and Dee, and they're going against the boys, which is Dennis, Frank, and Mark and Charlie. Now immediately when they get into the bowling alley, Charlie notices that there's a party going on, behind there's a kids party going on, and so he leaves, and so we are left with a match between. So they're paired. Let me put it this way: they're all paired. So you have Artemis and Frank, you have Mark and Snail, we have Dennis and Dee, and you have the waitress and Charlie. And so the first round, the guys obviously win. The second round, the women decide to outsmart the guys. They use very basic tactics to actually defeat them. And I was like, you know what? This is actually, it has a very interesting sense of what It's Always Sunny is, which is basically that these guys are actually stupid. I'm not saying all guys are stupid, but this particular group of guys, they're pretty dumb. And how they're beaten is pretty basic. We have, and I forgot, the McPoyles actually work in the bowling, bowling place. And they have an interesting backstory on why one of the McPoyles cannot actually cannot bowl. And it's a pretty funny flashback. And food, let me just put it this way, food is involved. And oh my goodness, Frank is disgusting. The things that he was doing with food and the bowling ball. And you're like, yeah, that is true to the character, but my goodness, Frank is such an insane person. So we get the guys, first round, the guys win, second round, the girls win. And so we find ourselves in a position whereby now Dennis versus Dee are the people who are supposed to now decide. Because we're in the second round, the girls have been winning. Now the girls the girls now are catching up. They're almost winning, and now we have two people remaining, which is Dennis and Dee. And so they decide to, the waitress decides to challenge Dennis's manhood, and she's like, there's this thing that you can actually, punch, and this proves that you're a very strong person. You saw this in the promotional material, that punching bag, and so the waitress goes in, kicks it. Dennis decides to punch it, and so that that epic moment happens when he punches, then goes back to the gang, and it's like he's in pain, and so he has to scream. I think that was some very, very funny stuff. Now what happens after that is even funnier, because now we get to see them go back to the McPoyles and go like, we need you to bowl because Dennis has injured his hand. And so now that again goes into this other thing, because Dennis, Dee comes in and goes like, she has also hurt her feet, so she needs another one of the McPoyles to actually go in and do to represent her. So we have now the McPoyles dragged into this. And so we also, that leads into something else I'm not going to spoil. It leads to a very interesting ending. And so this episode was true to just how dumb the guys are. Misogynistic, self-centered. They think that because they are men, they can do anything. They cannot do the women in everything that they do. And so we see the consequences for them and also for the McPoyles. So yeah, this was a true It's Always Sunny episode. I love, what did I love about it? I love the fact that the costume designers did a fantastic job helping us distinguish. That's one thing that I noted, because the girls were in blue, the guys were in whatever they wanted to wear, but it was all neutral colors. The bowling was captured very well. Let me just put it that way. At no point did you go like, that's quick editing, because they actually show like Dee throw the ball and then the ball go on and knock. It's like they did it for real. Let me put it this way. It feels like shooting this episode, they were like, we need to go and do bowling. And as you go bowl, let's just get the cameras, get a few costumes, and let's go do this. Let's go have fun. It looks like they're genuinely having fun. Now, in terms of character, they also stay true to who the characters are. Snail is still Snail. Artemis and Frank, they are still Artemis and Frank are still the same people that you remember, because when they're matched together, they go into that mode that they've always been in. Frank is also eating always, as usual. He's trying to always just eat. Dennis is always trying to outwit D, and you can actually see him dominate. There's that one thrown around a lot. Dominate D. And Mark and his domination is also present in this particular episode. You've always seen Mark try to be this dominant character in the episode. Apart from Dennis is a maniac, but Mark has always tried to be this strong, over the top, manly man, and you also see that in this particular episode. So this episode, I will give it a 3.7 out of 5. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty wow, and I love the escalation of events, because it does not follow that simple structure, because things move from where you start, it's not where it goes, and things don't exactly go the way I expected them to go. Whatever was supposed to happen to some characters doesn't happen. Different things happen to different people, and the element of the McPoyles also adds a lot of value to the overall enjoyment of the episode as a whole. So yeah, that's basically it. That's Always Sunny episode. That's Always Sunny. The gang goes bowling. If you've seen the episode, what did you think about it? What did you think about Frank and Artemis? What did you think about the backstory between the McPoyles backstory? Do you think it's interesting enough? Do you think that whatever happens in the end and the backstory actually connects? Because I think that was clever. So basically that's it. Remember to watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch, and I'll see you on the next one.